Content warning, this is a horror game and is not intended for all audiences. Please visit our website blacktabbygames.com if you need a full list of content warnings. Slay the Princess contains flickering image effects as well as parallax effect that on rare occasions can cause motion sickness in players. If either of these cause health issues for you, you can disable them in the game's preferences. Whatever horrors you may find in these dark spaces, have heart and see them through. There are no premature endings. There are no wrong decisions. There are only fresh perspectives and new beginnings. This is a love story. Welcome to Slay the Princess. I've watched a little bit of this. I watched a YouTuber by the name of Manly Badass Hero, and he played about a couple hours of the full release, and he played the 2 demos before. I watched them, liked them, and I think that'd make a good series on my end. I'm not going to watch the rest of his stuff, but go check him out. He's a larger YouTuber, but he's a pretty good YouTuber. I like his stuff. I guess we should just get started. Chapter 1, The Hero and the Princess.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
You sure about that? Alright, our first little thing, I say we follow the narrator to an exact T. Try and do this. This thing has multiple playthroughs, and also it has multiple kinda endings, but not really an ending, as we read at the very beginning. So we're going to silently continue towards the cabin.
You make your way up the short path to the cabin. You'll find the princess within. A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says. We're not going to go through with this, right? She's a princess. We're supposed to save princesses, not slay them.
Voice of the hero. So, we've got a voice in our head along with the narrator.
Ignore him. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Proceed into the cabin.
The interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare. The air is stale and musty, and the floor and walls are painted in a fine layer of dust. The only furniture of note is a plain wooden table. Perched on that table is a pristine blade. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
Explorer, take the blade.
You take the blade from the table. It'd be rather difficult to slay the princess and save the world without it.
Enter the basement.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. This is an oppressive place. The air feels heavy and damp, a hint of rot filtering from the ancient wood.
If the princess really lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor.
Her voice
Whoop.
carries up the stairs.
I accidentally skipped past it. Well, Logan, you mind going back and reading the rest of that?
Who's there?
She sounds dangerous. It's almost as if she's the one in charge down here.
Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation.
Continue down the stairs.
Good. You're still listening to reason. You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement.
She's so coldly beautiful.
Is she really a threat to the world? Focus on the task at hand.
And there you are. Are you here to kill me or something?
Steel your nerves and step forward.
You step forward, your grip on the blade tightening as you steel your resolve.
Oh? No talking then? Fine. What even makes you think you can kill me?
I've got a knife, and the narrative says I can.
I'm probably chained up in this basement for a reason, right? And if that knife is the only weapon you have, you'll have to get close enough to use it.
Yeah, that doesn't seem like a hard task right now.
So, you should just drop it. Best not to risk finding out what I can do.
She's unarmed. If you hesitate now, it'll be too late. End this.
This seems very brutal. Slay the princess.
You lunge forward without a moment's
Oh,
hesitation.
she looks so sad.
You feel flesh easily give way and look down to see your blade already sinking deep into her heart.
And this is where we get to see our hand. And we look like not human.
Oh. This is it, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it is.
I'm almost embarrassed. I should have seen that coming. But I have to wonder, do you actually believe this was enough to kill me?
Well, it's in your heart. Hopefully.
So she's convinced she can't die. Yes, even as she lays there dying, she entirely believes herself to be alive and well. But it's over, isn't it? She stopped breathing moments ago, that arrogant look still plastered on her face. But is it over? Really over?
Don't know. Of course it is. She's dead.
Yes, exactly. It's over. With your work done, you make your way back up the stairs, closing the door to the basement behind you. Why do I feel like we've done something terrible?
Probably because we just did.
You did kill someone. Greater good
Look
or
outside
not,
the window.
something would be very wrong with you if you didn't feel at least a little bad. But it was for the greater good. One of these days that will sink in and help ease your guilty conscience.
Yeah, but the outside has changed.
But that day isn't today. Let's just get out of here.
Leave.
You open the cabin door, ready to return to a world saved from certain doom. Only, a world saved from certain doom isn't what you find. Instead, what you find is nothing at all. Where a lush forest stood mere minutes ago, the only thing in front of you now is the vast emptiness of some place far away. What happened? Everyone is fine. It's just that you and the cabin are now far away from them. Don't worry. You'll be safe here. This is good. Everyone is happy. You'll be happy.
I was kind of hoping for a better ending for saving the world.
This isn't an ending. In fact, now that the princess has been slain, endings are a thing of the past. No. This is the beginning of eternity. Your reward. This is what's best for everyone. Trust me. Time passes. You can't be sure if it's days or months or years or even decades. It's all a wonderful, boring blur. You've never been happier. Psst. Hey. We're not just gonna stay here forever, right?
Yeah, I don't think we are. Didn't you hear the narrator? I'm happy. Any idea? Heck no. Do you have any idea how to get us the heck out of here?
I do, but you're probably not going to like it.
Okay.
Blade. We can use the blade to get out of this.
Ooh. Yeah, we can.
I can hear everything you say, little voice. There's only one thing it would want you to use that blade on, and I'm afraid that thing is you, dear hero.
I mean, it's better than waiting here for an eternity.
He's right. It's the only way out. Do you hear that? It wants to take this happiness away from you. It wants this wonderful place to end.
This isn't exactly a wonderful place.
Do you not? There's more for us to do, and the only way for us to do it is to take that blade and use it. Don't you dare.
When using the blade, will kill us, wouldn't we be dead?
How astute. You are absolutely correct. Using the blade to kill yourself would kill you, and you shouldn't do it. In a sense, we die, but looking at things from another angle, are we even really alive anymore? This place, it's nothing. It's absolutely nothing. It's just the same thing, constantly, forever. I know this
True.
is out there, but trust me, I know using the blade will work. That little voice didn't want you to slay the princess. It didn't want you to be happy.
Well, I'm not really happy here, narrator. You better be right about this. I'll be pretty upset if we die.
If we die, you can yell at me all you want. I made this happy little place for you. Is this not a good enough reward for saving the world?
No.
An eternity of bliss? You ingrate?
An eternity of loneliness, more like.
Fine. Whatever. For the first time since time stopped meaning anything, you throw open the door to the basement and walk down the stairs. The princess's body is dust and bones, though the blade you used to slay her is still as pristine as the day you first held it.
Man, how long has it been?
You pick up the blade, you stab yourself, and you die. The end. Nice knowing you.
Chapter 2, The Spectre. Okay.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
So we didn't die. Completely, I mean.
You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Oh, you... that word. You're in for it now. I'm wise to your tricks.
My tricks? What on earth are you talking about? We've just met for the first time. If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way. That's fine.
Voice
It
of the
wasn't very
cold.
hard to kill her last time. We'll just do it again.
So now we've got a third voice in our head.
Well, if for whatever reason you're going to insist that this has happened before, at least your heart's in the right place.
Let's assume I'm telling the truth, and all this did already happen. Why should I listen to you? Why should I bother doing anything?
Those are two very different questions, but fine, I'll indulge you if that's what it takes to get you moving. Let's say for a moment that this really is the second time you've met me, or at least a version of me. If you're back here, I'm assuming you died, which probably only happened because you didn't listen to me. Oh, we listened to you plenty. We slew the princess just like you asked us to, and then you locked us away in an empty void for eternity. So we slew ourselves too. Well, if you killed yourself, then you weren't listening to me, because I would never want you to do that. Believe it or not, I care about you.
Well, you clearly don't because you locked me away.
And I believe your other question was something along the lines of, oh, what's the point of doing anything? If you're asking that, it sounds to me like you're making the rather dangerous assumption that your actions last time around didn't have any consequences. What do you mean? Of course there weren't any consequences. We slew the princess, the world outside the cabin disappeared, we died, and now everyone's right back where they started. That sounds pretty consequence-free to me.
Yeah?
Yes, but in this purely hypothetical scenario, that begs the question of how you got back here. Did time simply rewind itself, or were you instead transported to a different world entirely?
That's a good question.
Had you failed to slay the princess, what would have happened to everyone in the place you left?
No, we succeeded.
It doesn't matter, because we didn't fail to slay her. And if she's really back, which I doubt, it'll be just as easy to do it again. But after that nasty trick you pulled on us, maybe she's not the only one around here in need of slaying.
You know, you're kind of creepy, Voice of the Cold, but you do got a point.
Just stay focused, will you?
Let's talk about this princess.
Just be quick about it.
If anything, the world ended after I slew her. When I tried to leave, everything was gone.
That's a good point. How do we know we didn't have things backwards? Maybe slaying the princess was what ended the world, not the other way round. Yes, maybe this whole thing was a trick to get us to end the world. And now we get to go through the whole charade again, wholly aware of what's waiting for us at the end. But that's assuming she's alive in that cabin. We did kill her, after all.
True.
You're going to find her in the cabin. If the princess had actually been slain, you wouldn't be here. And let me assure you, killing her will not end the world. I don't know what you think happened to you last time, but it's a load of nonsense. You'll get your happy ending. I promise. Well, that's exactly what we're afraid of. Really? Living happily ever after sounds that bad to you? Oh well, there's no use arguing over your masochism. The cabin awaits.
Last time around, I stabbed her in the heart and she died. How can someone like that end the world?
You just can. You'll have to trust that what I'm saying is true.
Who locked her in the basement? What is this place?
People locked her in that basement, and I told you what this place is. It's a path in the woods. Don't overcomplicate things.
If people locked her away, why couldn't they slay her? What? Why is this falling on me?
Look, I'm not supposed to say this, but it's because you're special. You're the only person capable of doing this. Call it a prophecy, if that helps, but it's just the way things are. Oh, I didn't know we were special. Of course we're special.
You're being cagey. What aren't you telling me?
I've told you everything you need to know. Going into more detail would just overcomplicate an otherwise very simple situation and make your job more difficult. This is boring. He's clearly not interested in talking. So let's just do as he says. And maybe he'll stop bothering us.
He probably won't. That's
Right.
all.
Now, if you don't mind, the whole world is waiting with bated breath for you to save it from ruin.
Turn around and leave.
Oh. Do you think there's something else out there? Alright. Let's see what we can find. It's bound to be more interesting than doing the same thing over again.
Yeah.
Seriously? You're just going to turn around and leave? Do you even know where you're going?
Nope. Nope.
Fine. I suppose you just quietly continue down the path away from the cabin. That's strange. It looks like this path also leads to the cabin. How convenient. Everything's back on track again. Maybe the world can still be saved after all. Oh, how quaint. He really wants us to go in there, doesn't he?
Turn around again and leave again.
Really keen on wasting everyone's time, aren't you? It's remarkably selfish, if you ask me. I've already outlined the stakes of the situation. If you don't do your job, everyone dies. Like, dies. Forever.
How much you want to bet?
But fine, you turn around and trek back down the path you came.
Wait, something isn't right. Can you still hear me? You're supposed to wind up back at the cabin again.
Oh.
It's getting-
Something's happening.
What's going on? Where are we?
I don't know.
I don't know. But it feels like home.
The world around you is unwound, its physical matter replaced by a textured nothingness. It is quiet. There's a distant rumbling, a sound of many sounds. Undulations pulse louder as something other comes close. Feelers probe across the fabric of reality. Extremities find your consciousness and wrap themselves around it. You are no longer alone. Resistance. Fingers drag claws across the glass surface of your soul. Frustration. This vessel is full of you. I need something I can crawl inside of. I need something shaped like me. Embrace the thoughts constricting you. Urgency. You have a story you need to finish. It is the only way for us to escape this place. Force pushing against your will. No, you cannot go back. Not there. Regret. This world is broken beyond repair. We must weave something new. A wagging finger. There is only so much thread in this place. Do not waste it. I am your only salvation. Denial. Return to your destined path.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Okay, so we kind of restarted again. Okay, and we don't have anything that... Okay. We've got all of our options from the beginning back. So it seems like we have completely restarted. Alright, the end of the world, what are you talking about?
The end of everything as we know it. No more birds, no more trees, and perhaps most problematically of all, no more people. You have to put an end to her.
But how can a princess locked away in the basement end the world?
Don't linger on the specifics. You have a job to do here. Just get in there and do what needs to be done. We're all counting on you.
You have any evidence to back this up?
Look, you're already on the path that leads to the cabin. Why would you be here if it weren't to complete a very important task? You've made it this far, you might as well reach the end of your journey.
Have you considered that maybe the only reason she's going to end the world is because she's locked up?
While I appreciate the mental exercise, we are running up against a bit of a ticking clock. Nevertheless, let me assure you, the princess is locked up because she's dangerous. She is not dangerous because she's locked up. And before you decide to waste even more of our time by asking how I know that, let me suggest a more pragmatic lens through which to view this situation. Causality doesn't matter here, because the end result is the same no matter what led us up to this point. If the princess leaves the cabin, the world will end, and there is no changing that. It's no use arguing semantics over a metaphorical chicken or egg, because the egg is hatched and it's about to ruin everything. Unless, of course, you do your job and slay her.
Okay. Killing princess seems kind of bad, though, doesn't it?
Does it? Are you a monarchist? Is slaying a princess that much worse than slaying a fisherman or a miller or a seamstress?
Yeah, kind of.
If anything, slaying a princess is much better than slaying a seamstress. Seamstresses contribute something of value to society.
Can't someone else do this?
Oh, if only that were the case. But I don't make the rules. I have to say, I'm surprised at your reluctance thus far. But unfortunately for the both of us, you're the only one who can pull this off. Like I said, I don't make the rules, no matter how much I wish I did.
Look, I'll go to the cabin and I'll talk to her. And if she is as bad as you say she is, then maybe I'll slay her. But I'm not committing to anything until I've had the chance to meet her face to face.
Then I guess we'll just have to see what happens. But a word of warning. If you go in prepared to hear her out, she could easily trap you in her web of lies. And the more you listen to her honeyed words, the harder it'll be to pull yourself out. Then each and every one of us is doomed. So sure, go, talk to her. See how that turns out for all of us.
Okay.
You make your way up the short path to the cabin. You'll find the princess within.
Proceed into the cabin.
The interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare. The air is stale and musty, and the floor and walls are painted in a fine layer of dust. The only blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
Yeah, we already know about this. Here, I'll take the blade.
You take the blade from the table. It'd be rather difficult to slay the princess and save the world without it.
Yeah. Enter the basement.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. This is an oppressive place. The air feels heavy and damp, a hint of rot filtering from the ancient wood. If the princess really lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor.
By the way, to you guys watching and to my editor, Logan, my brother, for stuff that is already like, I can click skip here. That means I've already heard this. I'm going to not skip stuff, but it might be edited down so that this doesn't last as long as how I record it. But if something new or interesting happens, or I choose different options or whatever, then it won't have the skip because I can't skip past stuff I haven't heard already. So, Logan, you have free reign of editing this down a little bit if you need to. But yeah, let's continue.
Her voice carries up the stairs.
Who's there?
She sounds dangerous. It's almost as if she's the one in charge down here.
Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation.
Hi.
Don't be a stranger. It's been so long since I've had any visitors. Come on down. And there you are. Are you here to kill me or something?
Nuh-uh.
Then drop the knife.
We should. It'll go a long way to building trust with her. Don't you dare. It's fine. We can decide what we want to do after we talk to her. Maybe she really is a monster. But killing someone in cold blood isn't very becoming of us.
Yeah. Drop it.
The blade tumbles out of your trembling hands and drops to the floor with an unceremonious clang.
My hands aren't trembling.
Thank you. Maybe now we can just talk.
Yeah, let's just talk.
Against your better judgment, you step forward to speak with the princess face to face, unarmed. We'll be fine. I don't know what you're hoping to accomplish here, but I can assure you there's no reasoning with her. Just make sure you don't forget about the blade on the floor. You're going to need it.
So here we are. What an awkward start to a relationship.
Yeah. A relationship? Are you coming on to me?
Don't jump to any weird conclusions. We're two people who have met each other. By definition, we have a relationship.
Alright. What's your name?
She hesitates before answering.
You can address me as Your Royal Highness, or Her Majesty. Any honorific should do, really.
Note the lack of detail. You can't trust her.
How long have you been down here?
Too long.
Again, she offers no specifics. No matter how hard you try, you'll never get a straight answer out of her.
How would I get you out of here?
You can't. Don't bother.
I'm guessing you don't have the key then. I'm sure there's a key somewhere around here, and if there isn't, well, we can always put that knife to good use.
True. I don't like that look on your face, though.
Her sharp eyes settle on the edge of the blade. She isn't suggesting what I think she's suggesting, right?
I think she is.
She is. I'm sure of it.
There's people out there who think you're going to end the world. What would you have to say about that?
Don't just tell her that.
Is that why they threw me down here? But I don't want to hurt anyone. I like the world, I think. I don't remember much about it, to be honest. I've been down here a long time.
Just how long has she been down here?
Apparently a long time.
If I'm supposed to be capable of ending the world, then how did I wind up here, chained to a wall? Have they told you why I'm allegedly so dangerous?
No. I was hoping you'd tell me.
Ending the world seems like an awful lot for just one person to do. I wouldn't even know where to start.
I believe her.
Yeah, me
She
too.
doesn't have to know how to destroy the world to be capable of doing it.
At the end of the day, whatever the two of us have going on down here is about trust. Whoever sent you to slay me claimed I was a threat to the world, but they didn't tell you why. That doesn't sound right to me. And I don't think it sounds right to you either. Otherwise, we'd be killing each other instead of talking.
You're right.
She has a point. There's a reason I've been telling you to question the situation, and there's a reason you've listened.
Yeah?
So, I could tell you that I'd lead a quiet life in the woods, or that I'd open an orphanage, or that I'd do any other number of good things that I'm sure you think you want to hear. But you don't really know me, do you? What can my word possibly be worth in a situation like this?
That's true.
She's right about one thing. Her word isn't worth anything.
Yeah, but I don't know you
Like I
either,
said,
narrator.
It's all about trust. Blind trust. So do you trust me, the prisoner, the victim, the princess clearly incapable of ending the world? Or do you trust whoever put me here?
She's wrong. This isn't about trust. This is about risk. We stand to lose everything, all for the sake of one person, and a subjugating monarch, no less.
Okay, we've talked enough.
Oh, have you decided what to do with me?
Yep.
You know why you're here.
I'm getting you out of here.
You have to be kidding me.
Nope.
You walk up to the chains binding the princess to the wall and give them a tug. They're large and heavy, far too solid for you to even imagine trying to break them apart.
If you don't have the key, maybe you should go looking for it. I'm sure it's somewhere upstairs.
Doubtful. Whoever locked the princess away down here intended for her to never see the light of day. They wouldn't have just left the key to her chains somewhere in the cabin.
I'm going upstairs. Maybe the key's lying around somewhere up there. And if not, maybe I can at least find something to break you free.
I'll be here.
Okay.
You attempt to make your way out of the basement, but the door at the top of the stairs slams shut. You hear the click of a lock sliding into place. Is someone else here?
Try the door.
Try the door, but it's locked from the outside. You're here to slay the princess, and you won't leave until the task is done.
Return to the bottom of the stairs.
You make your way back to the bottom of the stairs. This would have been so much easier if you'd simply slain her like you were supposed to. Easier for whom? Easier for everyone.
I heard the door slam. They locked you down here too, didn't they?
Yep.
The knife. Pick it up and cut me out of here.
Okay.
You won't like what happens if you do that.
Save the princess.
Against your better judgment, you place the blade against the princess's arm, just above the massive, unyielding chain. You cut into her flesh. The blade is sharp, and you make quick work of it. Before long, you're able to crack through bone, and she pulls the bleeding stub of her arm through the iron gauntlet.
My hand has turned into me holding the knife. My cursor did.
She didn't so much as utter a sound. Free from her bindings, the princess turns to face you, her fierce gaze meeting your eye.
How is she so composed after losing an arm? It's like she isn't even bothered by it.
Thank you. Now let's get out of here.
Approach the locked door.
No, we won't have any of that. The stakes are too high. You can't just let her escape into the world. No, I just can't let her escape into the world.
What?
As the princess approaches the bottom stair, your body steps forward and raises the blade. Wait, this isn't fair. You can't just do that. Watch me.
Alright, there's one Warner.
Stop that.
I thought this was a little too easy.
Your body lunges forward to sink the blade into her back, but the princess swiftly moves out of the way before you can connect.
Stop it. Stop resisting me. I am trying to get you out of here alive.
I'm trying to get her out of here alive. You trapped me in nothingness, and then you sent me back and you told me to trust you because I didn't listen to you, but I didn't want to be in nothingness. And now you're trying to get me, you're taking over. Resist.
The blade. Move the blade.
You're doing your best to help me, aren't you? I can see the conflict in your eyes. I'll make this quick.
She steps forward and pries the blade from your rigid hands.
Maybe I'll see you in another life.
And then she slits your throat with an almost clinical ease. Her face remains unchanged as she watches you
Okay, she
collapse
killed
to the
me.
ground, blood flowing from your butchered neck. This is the end, isn't it? I'm afraid it is. Everything goes dark, and you die. I hope it was worth it.
Well, yeah, kinda, because I really don't like you, narrator, since you trapped me into nothingness and said I was happy. Chapter 2, The Prisoner.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
I'm getting a terrible sense of deja vu.
A terrible sense of deja vu? No, you don't have that. This is the first time either of us have been here.
You really trying to gaslight me?
Don't forget what he did to us the last time around. I wouldn't trust a word out of his mouth. There's got to be a way out of here, for us and for the princess.
Voice
Just
of the
have to
skeptic.
try. I'm inclined to agree. If he doesn't remember what happened last time, maybe it's best to keep it that way. You know I can hear you two, right? It's going to be a lot harder than you think to keep secrets from me. And as far as trying to help her goes, need I remind you how catastrophically dangerous she is to the world at large? I told you about the stakes of this situation less than a minute ago.
Yeah, well, I've heard it pretty... This is more than deja vu, though. I'm pretty sure this whole thing really just happened.
We could go back and forth on this forever, and it won't get you any closer to doing your job and saving the world. So let's just agree to disagree.
Yeah, whatever. I already did that one. Okay. Let's do proceed to the cabin.
A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says.
Yes, don't believe a word she says. Just go in, take the knife, and do what you're supposed to. Wink.
Did you
Wink.
just say wink out loud?
No, I didn't. Wink. Just ignore this clown and focus on the princess.
Proceed into the cabin. I'm determined to
The
get her
interior
out.
of the cabin
Ooh.
is less a cozy woodland retreat and more like a dungeon. A few pathetic wisps of starlight attempt to illuminate the cold, uninviting stone walls, and thick, wrought iron bars barricade the windows, reminding anyone who enters that this is a prison.
Is that something?
The only furniture of note is an iron table, bolted to the floor, a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
Alright. Explore. Approach the mirror. Wait. You didn't say anything about the mirror on the wall.
He definitely did not. Does a mirror not count as furniture of note to you? Because it should.
There isn't a mirror. There's a table, the blade sitting on the table, and the door to the basement. There's nothing else in here.
There clearly is.
There's definitely a mirror. There isn't.
There is.
I think you know what we have to do.
Why would you lie about that? What's the point?
Exactly. Why would I lie about something so meaningless? What good would a mirror even do? That you waste time preening yourself instead of doing what needs to be done?
Approach the mirror.
You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here. This really isn't funny.
Wipe the mirror clean.
You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. I hope you know how ridiculous you look right now. But it was there a second ago.
Yeah.
And now it's gone. If he doesn't want us to know about it, it must be important. We should keep our eyes peeled. Maybe it'll be back.
Maybe. Take the blade.
You take the blade from the table.
In case she's chained up
It will be
again.
difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon.
Good idea. Much better to be armed than to go in with blind hope alone.
Enter the basement.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing an old stone staircase. A few sputtering torches attempt to vaguely illuminate your path, dancing across glimmering patches of slimy moss on the stone steps. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favor. Her voice, harsh but controlled, carries up the stairs.
Is that a visitor I hear? Please, come downstairs. It's been a while since I've had company.
Does she remember us?
It sounds a bit normal.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. She looks up at you, the heavy collar around her neck clanking loudly as she moves. The chains binding both her wrists to the far wall, joining the metallic chorus as she adjusts her hands in her lap. Should we be worried about the one around her neck? Why would you be worried about her restraints? If anything, they'll make your job easier. Have you noticed the empty chain on the wall? Odd that in a place where everything seems to serve a distinct purpose, there would be something so obviously useless.
Yeah.
What an interesting development. Why don't you have a seat? The two of us should chat before you bury that thing in my heart.
Yeah, sit with her.
You step towards the princess, but she stops you before you get too close, holding up one shackled hand.
There's fine. I'd prefer we keep some distance until we've sorted this out.
Okay.
That's reasonable. We do have a weapon. Might as well put her at ease.
Sit where you were told to sit.
You do as she asks and sit on the floor, still a good distance away from her.
Thank you. Now, what are your intentions for me?
I've been here before. Am I the only one that who remembers that?
Oh, are we acknowledging that? I thought we weren't going to give away the game. But yeah, I remember.
First you make a comment about having been here before, and now this. As much as I would like to remain in denial, it's no use. This has complicated things. It's complicated things how, exactly? Ideally, this was supposed to be one and done. You go to the cabin, you heroically slay the princess, and in the process you save the entire world from being damned to oblivion. The situation right now, where you're getting a second shot at things, is a contingency. A contingency for what? For you failing, obviously.
And you being here means that things are going to be a lot harder than they were. I really shouldn't say anything else, I'm just going to make it worse. Just good luck. If you knew this could happen, why didn't you tell us? All of this is incredibly valuable information. It would have changed our actions considerably.
Well, I don't know about that.
I needed you to be in the dark for as long as I could keep you there. It's important. Necessary, even. And maybe I wanted to be the first version of me that you met. I didn't want to be confronted by the alternative. That's pathetic. I never said I wasn't. I get it. It would be pretty upsetting, wouldn't it? To know that you might not be the first version of yourself. At least we can remember what happened before. Seems like we should count ourselves lucky for that.
Yeah?
Exactly. He gets it. You're lucky. So don't waste that luck by messing it up again. Alright?
Nah, I think I will.
Moving on. Why is it important for us to be ignorant? How is it ever helpful to be in the dark? The more I say, the more your mind will swim into dangerous waters. Even saying that is too much. Your success hinges on you having imperfect information. For the sake of the entire world, you need to accept that.
I will not accept that.
I won't.
Yep, there you go.
Fine. But you won't get another word from me on the matter. Yeah, sure. We'll see about that. Just give it a rest. This isn't helping.
Focus. This is a serious situation. You shouldn't be daydreaming.
I'm not. I got voices in my head. You were asking me about my intentions earlier. What did you mean by that?
Yes, your intentions. You have a knife. What are you going to do with it? Why are you here?
Well,
There isn't a keyhole in these shackles, and I don't see any keys in your hands either. So I'm afraid my only way out is another surgical removal.
Yeah, but your head.
Is she forgetting about the shackle on her neck?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Or does she think she'd survive a beheading? You're right. Maybe she's delusional. All the more reason not to trust her.
No.
Unless she really could survive.
Though I suppose you could just be here to kill me. But I don't think that's in either of our best interests.
Yeah, we're against the narrator together. What happened after I died the last time?
Nothing happened. You died. I went upstairs. I couldn't leave. I found myself in a new place in chains again. More of them. And now you're back.
Is that really all she knows? It's not like we have much of a clue about how things work. And she's probably even more in the dark than we are.
Yeah.
You're looking at me like I might be hiding something. I'm not.
I guess it's possible she really doesn't know anything. Maybe both of us are stuck in this loop without any idea why or how.
Alright. I accidentally cut that off. How am I supposed to cut you out? If you didn't notice, your head is in a shackle, too.
No. Like I trust you to come any closer with that knife. All you're going to do is hand it to me and watch me work.
Okay.
But she would have to cut her head off, right? She can't be suggesting that. She certainly seems confident. Maybe she knows something we don't. Or maybe you should consider the most likely scenario. She's bluffing so she can disarm you. Though if she isn't bluffing, whatever she has planned might be for her benefit alone. There's no guarantee that what's good for her is good for us.
That's true.
What should we do? I don't know. I'm just spelling out our options, listing the pros and cons. Then let me help you. I'll start with the cons. If you're handing her your weapon, cons are that she might use it to escape and end the entire world. And she might use it to kill you.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound great. What about the pros? There are none.
Well, there's one pro.
The pros are that we can't trust him, possibly even more than we can't trust her. And whatever she has planned could do something to mess with what he has planned. Or maybe they're both screwing us over in their own ways.
That other chain on the wall, who's it for?
I don't know, but you could always try it on. Maybe it'll fit.
I hope I don't actually have to say this, but please don't lock yourself in chains. We need you ambulatory if you're going to save the world.
Inspect the shackle. Okay, I'm trusting you.
Slide it over.
No, absolutely not. I am not letting you hand your only weapon over to the world-ending princess. Until you come up with any other idea, like, say, I don't know, doing your job and slaying her, you remain rigidly in place.
You tried this last time. Do you want to know how it went for you?
Oh, I remember. She killed us, which, by your estimation, ended the world, right?
Oh, already tried to take over your body.
Exactly. If I were you, I wouldn't be too keen on repeating your mistake. Hell, we could even force your hand and do it ourselves. I'm not afraid of dying again. Are you?
No, not
A
really.
little. I think you got your point across. Fine. You slide the blade across the floor. The princess maintains unsettling eye contact as she reaches down to pick it up.
Thanks.
She pulls up her hair, smiling slightly, as she raises the blade to her throat. What is she doing? She doesn't say another word as she cuts into her own neck.
Oh,
Oh.
watching uneasy silence.
Her eyes stare forward, unblinking, her smile unwavering as she soars through skin, veins, cartilage. At last she reaches bone, the blade grinding audibly against her vertebra as it continues to slice its way through her neck. I'll be damned. She's actually doing your job for you. How did she do that?
Huh. So that's her play.
Killing herself?
She isn't dead yet.
Finally, you hear a snap. Her eye twitches. There's an uneasy silence. She remains motionless for a long moment, her twitching eye the only movement in the room, until at last it stops in an unsettling half-wink. Her head twists slowly to the side, flopping to her shoulder, and her neck opens. The remaining tissue is not enough to hold the weight of her severed head. It stretches and tears until finally it falls to the floor, completely free. It bounces a few times before rolling to a stop at your feet. Oh no, oh no, oh no, what did we do? Can we put it back? Please tell me we can put it back.
I don't think that's something you can just put back, hero.
The princess's eyes stare up at you. Dead. Congratulations! You saved the world.
I don't like you, narrator.
Are you sure she's not winking at us?
Obviously not. She is thoroughly deceased. Can we just get out of here now, please? Of course, the princess is slain and the world is saved. Whenever you're ready, you can proceed to your reward.
We should take her with us, don't you think?
Yeah.
What? No, you shouldn't do that. Why would you do that?
I can think of lots of reasons. A trophy, proof of our victory. Hell, we could even give her a proper burial. She did save the world, right?
Yeah, true.
You don't need proof, you don't need a trophy, and she doesn't deserve a burial. Just leave.
Even after all that, you're still not satisfied, are you? Something is still motivating you to keep things the way you want them.
This reminds me of how some people have like bad DMs and stuff, or just Dungeons and Dragons, and they're like, no, you can't just do that, and then they're like, watch me. If I roll high enough, you gotta let me. And they're like, fine, if you roll 3 nat 20s in a row, you can do it. And then they roll 3 nat 20s in a row.
I'm just eager to put this all behind us and give you your reward. Stop reading into things, the danger has passed.
I'm just keeping myself sharp. I'm not so eager to put my guard down.
I am. I'm on team, let's put this all behind us, so can we leave already?
No, I'm siding with the skeptic. Take the princess with you.
Ugh, fine. You pick up the princess's severed head, its neck stump still oozing bodily fluids. Then make your way back upstairs to the first floor of the cabin. Did you see that? I could have sworn she moved.
She did. Her eye twitched.
She didn't. She's dead.
She's not dead.
But what if she's not?
She's not.
Are you listening to yourself? Do I need to explain to you why decapitation is lethal? The door to your bountiful reward is right in front of you. All you have to do is open it.
Leave the cabin and claim your reward.
You open the cabin door, ready to return to a world saved from certain doom. Only, a world saved from certain doom isn't what you find. Instead, what you find is... Wait, no, that's not right.
Well played.
Free a prisoner. Got an achievement. Talking heads was the achievement.
This is the end of the world, isn't it? I always thought I'd at least have time to explain myself before I had to watch it happen. It's already... over? Is he gone? But we're still here. Maybe it wasn't the end of the world after all. Maybe it was just the end of his.
Thanks for carrying me up here. I had to take it on faith that you would know what to do. I'm glad I was right to trust you.
Yeah.
So, this is the outside. Maybe it's just my lack of body, but it's colder than I expected.
The hands got her. Oh, sorry. I wish I could go back to whatever I skipped. But you don't get a chance to respond. Something has taken her away, and it's left something in her place.
She's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her? And there's that mirror again. Why is it here? Why now?
I don't know where she went, and I don't know how we'd even go about looking for her.
If there's even a her to find anymore. You're right. She's gone. It's just us and that awful thing.
By the way, our option menu kind of looks like the nothingness. But there's also leaves, so... the narrator's gone.
He is. Does that mean the world ended? It must have. Do any of us know what the world ending is supposed to look like?
Well, it kind of looked like this whenever we killed her the first time. I think I'm supposed to look at the mirror.
There's something dreadful about it. I don't think you should. You're right. Part of me wants the truth, but something stronger is holding me back. Fear.
Approach the mirror.
I'm begging you, don't do this.
It was my only option, my guy. The mirror never scared you before.
It's different now. It feels... I don't know. Final.
You approach the mirror. Gaze into your reflection. Silence as you reach forward. They're gone, but the mirror remains. It's time for you to see what's in it. The body. It's you. And I look like a monster. You are alone in a place that is empty. It is quiet here. Proceed to the cabin. You are at the cabin. Approach her. You recognize the presence inhabiting the shell. It is the entity that dwells in the spaces between.
Something returns to the long quiet. It has surrendered its path of annihilation and brings me the gift of a fragile vessel.
You're that thing I met in space outside of the woods, aren't you? I thought you were a dream.
Vague recollections, empty tunnels without a mouth. I am
am sorry if I frightened you.
What are you?
I am solitary lights in an empty city. What are you?
I don't know what I am.
I think that you are like me. We are oceans, reduced to shallow creeks.
The gift of a fragile vessel?
Yes, nerves and fibers to feel the worlds beyond, perspectives to make my own. This one is cold and cynical. She has protected herself when others could not. She will make for a clever heart. Do not mourn her. She doesn't need to be protected any longer.
Is this the end of the world?
How can the world have ended if we are talking?
Do you know the narrator?
You are the only thing I have ever known. The space we're in is vacant. Nothing comes here but us.
Are you what sent me to slay the princess? Are you what trapped me here?
I have only just now stirred to consciousness. I could not have trapped you here, and I too yearn to be free.
Are you the princess?
She is part of me, and part of me is her.
But were you always the princess, or are you just making her a part of yourself?
You speak in circles. Does it matter where one thing begins and another ends?
Do you know about the worlds beyond this place?
I know only that they are.
What happens now?
Nothing, as we are. But I know that there are worlds beyond us, and that we are meant to reach them. There is no exit, but this vessel is a creature of perception. She can make you forget, if only you believe her to be able to. Bring me more perspectives, so that I may be whole, and perhaps then we will know our freedom.
Aren't you scared that I'll find a way to kill you?
I have not lived. I am not afraid to die.
How much will I forget?
Everything, until we meet again.
How many more pieces of you do I have to find?
More than you have found, but less than there are to find. I am infinite. The rest will find their own way home.
I was sent here to slay the princess, to stop her from destroying the world. If I help you, is that what you're going to do?
You ask of things that cannot be done. To destroy is merely to reshape, to remold.
You're being semantic. What are you going to do if I help you?
How can I know? I am flickers in something sprawling and unilluminated.
And what if I don't let you do this to me?
Then we will be here forever, as we are now. Unfinished, dry, hollow.
Okay, make me forget.
She asks that I tell you to remember her. You won't.
Everything goes dark and you die. Okay, now we have an objective. A gratuitous vessel. Bring the prisoner's head to
You're
her.
on a path with an unceremonious...
Alright, I'm gonna try and stick to what I already did. Relationship.
Don't jump to any.
How would I get you out of here?
Can't.
I'm here because you're supposed to
Don't
end the
just
world.
tell her that.
What are you going to do if I let you out of here?
Princess hesitates before responding.
Oh.
She doesn't know. She's been down here too long to have any idea of what she'd do in another life.
Can't skip it.
She knows what she'd do. She's just searching for whatever answer she thinks you want to.
I don't think I can answer that question in a way you'd find meaningful. At the end of the day, whatever the two of us have going on down here is about trust.
Alright, now I can skip it. So there was just some dialogue that I didn't hear there. What's your name?
She hesitates before
Skip.
answering.
How long have you been down here?
Too long.
Okay, we've talked enough.
Oh, have you decided what to do with me?
Yes.
You know why.
I'm getting you out of here. Let's try. Hey, let me out of here.
Shouts and pleas are met with silence. I'll repeat myself once again. You're here to slay the princess, and
Return downstairs.
you make your.
Why can't I warn her?
You bring the blade down and plunge it into the princess's back. Finally.
Okay. There's no going back now.
Though the blade left a deep gash in her shoulder, she barely so much as flinches, turning around to stare at you incredulously.
Are you serious?
I didn't want to.
I don't know what came over you, but if we're doing this, I guess I'll have to kill you. Do you think I need both of my arms to do that? I can beat you to death with one. But I don't have to tell you that. I'll go ahead and show you.
Give up.
As the blade falls from your trembling hands, the princess rears back, readying a bone-shattering haymaker. You fall to your knees, barely able to process the ringing in your ears before she hits you again.
Every blow is as punishing as the first. You feel bones shatter with every impact, unknown ruptures blossoming with blood somewhere inside of you. If we're lucky, the wound you manage to inflict will be enough to at least delay her escape from this place. If we're very lucky, we'll kill her before she gets out.
Oh, too weak to even try fighting back. How disappointing.
No, that's not what happened. I didn't want to kill you.
She places a confident heel on your chest and pushes you down to the ground. Her knee falls to your throat, your windpipe crushed beneath a weight you didn't think her slight form could possibly possess.
It can't just end like this, right?
I'm sorry, but it's over. Everything goes dark, and you die.
Chapter 2, The Tower. This is different, not the prisoner.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
This happened already.
It hasn't. Or if it has, I certainly haven't been a part of it. We've just met for the first time, you and I. If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way. You know I can hear you, right? It's going to be a lot harder than you think to keep secrets from me. What does it matter what he knows? There's nothing we can do to stop her. She's just going to kill us again.
Voice of the Broken.
She is not going to kill you unless you let her. But slaying the princess and saving the world is going to be much more difficult than it has to be if you spend the whole time second-guessing yourself.
Alright, let's just proceed to the cabin again.
A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says. We might as well just pledge ourselves to her and stop pretending we're capable of doing anything in this situation. She probably doesn't even need to try to overpower us.
Can we tone down the pessimism just a smidge?
I'm not being a pessimist. I'm just being realistic.
You're being annoying. Just ignore their bickering, and whatever you do, don't pledge yourself to her. I cannot stress enough how absolutely catastrophic that would be for everyone, yourself included. I agree. If she's wrongfully imprisoned, then we should rescue her, but if he's telling the truth, we shouldn't just hand her the world on a silver platter. Rescue her? Given the stakes of the situation, there isn't really a difference between rescuing her and pledging yourself to her. Either would be terrible.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Please try to ignore both of those knuckleheads and focus on saving the world. Let's not make this harder than it has to be.
Proceed into the cabin.
If that's what you want, I guess I don't have a say here.
The interior of the cabin is larger and more grandiose than its humble exterior would suggest. The only furniture of note is a massive marble altar with a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. Why do we feel so small?
We don't feel small. We are small.
You didn't say anything about the mirror on the wall.
That's because there isn't a mirror. There's the altar, the blade sitting on the altar, and the door to the basement. There's nothing else in here. There's definitely a mirror. There isn't.
Who cares if there's a mirror? We're all going to die anyway. And I'm sure that if we looked in there, we'd just see something sad and miserable looking back at us. We don't need any reminders of what we are. It would only make things worse.
For the last time, you're not going to die unless you let it happen. And luckily for you, there isn't a mirror, so no one needs to worry about confronting a grisly visage any time in the near future. Though, for what it's worth, if there were a mirror, I'm sure that you wouldn't find anything sad or miserable in it looking back at you. You probably look perfectly normal. Probably. Do you not know what we look like?
He knows. He just doesn't have the heart to tell us.
I care about whether I'm being lied to. There's a mirror.
As do I. And yeah, there is. I'm not lying to you. Use your eyes. There is no mirror.
I'm using my
It's
eyes.
so meaningless. What good would a mirror even do? Let you waste time preening yourself instead of doing what needs to be done.
Yeah, I want to waste as much of your time as possible, narrator. Approach the mirror.
You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here. This really isn't funny.
Wipe the mirror clean.
You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. I hope you know how ridiculous you look right now.
We should count ourselves lucky. Some things are better left unseen.
Yeah, I want to take the blade just in case. But it would probably make more sense to not take the blade since last time we did and she killed us. Because we were forced to try and kill her. Enter the
No
basement.
blade this time. Yeah. Maybe she'll be more receptive if we're unarmed.
Yeah, hopefully.
Blade, no blade. It doesn't matter.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a spiral staircase. Its steps almost as deep as you are tall. The smell of incense drifts up from below. For a moment, you almost feel at ease.
This is actually kind of nice.
It's still a stone basement. If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. Her booming voice rolls up the stairs.
Is that a guest I hear? Don't linger on the stairs. Come down and witness me.
Huh. That doesn't sound as friendly as the last one.
You weren't kidding when you said it was booming. She wasn't like this last time.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have come down here unarmed. We need to get down there. She wants us to see her. We need to see her. Should we be worried about your sudden change in attitude? Just a few minutes ago you were going on about how pointless everything was. Now you want to go down there. It doesn't matter what that little voice says. He's not the one making the decisions. Though if his ramblings get you to the princess, they get you to the princess.
Continue down the stairs.
Making your way down the spiral staircase is a time-consuming and exhausting effort, every step requiring you to clamber over one edge before dropping to the next. But soon the end
Comes into view, and you tumble to the bottom, entering the vast temple-like room beyond.
the princess towers
Sorry.
over you, almost
I can
glowing
read
in
it.
the weak starlight, her figure framed by a stained glass window. Her long hair billows around her, and a chain binds her wrist to the far wall.
No. Not gonna lie. Alright, what's up,
The
princess?
chain is nothing to her. It might as well be a toy for all the good it would do. I
Yep.
told you it was pointless to resist her.
The little bird has returned to me. I wonder what he wants. I see your hands are empty. You've already given up, haven't you? You aren't even going to try and kill me. How sweet. And more than a little disappointing.
She's disappointed in us?
Kneel.
No. You know what? Sure. Kneel.
On her command, you fall to the floor, knees painfully connecting with hard stone.
That's my good little bird. Now, why don't we talk?
Yeah, let's talk.
The last time we met, you told me I was destined to end the world. That thought wrapped itself around my heart. It has pulled at me since the moment I squeezed the life out of your broken lungs. I could feel its fundamental truth awaken me. The collapse of the old is a necessary prelude to the birth of the new, and the world as it is now is overdue for alterations. It's time for me to seize my destiny, and you, little bird, will help me seize it.
Well, that gives away the game, doesn't it?
Maybe I shouldn't have told her she was destined to end the world.
It certainly does. And beyond that, it more than lends credence to our conversation in the woods. I don't love the thought that in some other reality you failed to destroy her, but what's done is done. And I can only hope it helped you learn a valuable lesson.
I don't know.
You are the only one who can deal with her. And if you don't, well, she's let you know what will happen, hasn't she? And you shouldn't have trusted us with her destruction. She is inevitable. Can't you feel it? He's being melodramatic, but he's not exactly wrong, is he? What are we supposed to do to stop her? Okay. First things first, you're going to have to stuff those pessimistic thoughts someplace far, far away and commit yourself to what needs to be done.
Freeing her?
The stakes of the situation should be perfectly clear to everyone now. And if you're going to save the world, you have to have faith that you can pull this off. You can't win a battle that you've already lost in your mind.
Just because you're supposed to end the world doesn't mean you actually have to do it. You can be whatever you want to be.
This isn't about desire. This is about what I am. And I have little interest in discussing destiny with one that cannot see the divine truth that shines in my heart.
What would you have me do? What do you have planned?
And all you have to do is break these chains and set me free.
If you're so powerful, can't you just break the chains yourself?
Don't be rude. Of course she can. It's not rude to question someone who's apparently trying to end the world. That's exactly why it's rude. We should know our place.
I can, easily. But that isn't what I want to do. The story of a terrible and bountiful god unbounded of her own will is no story at all. It's not worthy of everything I am, or everything I'm bound to become. It isn't even worthy of what I was. The destruction in Genesis that's to follow in my wake is deserving of a song that can echo for eternity.
Your eyes turned colors.
The song of you, being so struck by my glory, so overwhelmed by what I am, that you feel you must deliver me into the world. And from your act of utter devotion and submission springs a new dawn, a better dawn. Submit now, submit later. It makes no difference. Because in the end, no matter how vainly you struggle against me, my will triumphs over yours.
I don't know about that. I got a pretty strong will. I have questions for you before... What happened to you after I died?
Know the limits of your privilege, little bird. There's an empty place at my side for you to fill, if you'll have it. But it is not a place for an equal. It is a place for something worthy to be kept. A priest, perhaps, or a pet.
I only have one option. I'm yours to command. Pledge yourself to her.
Your will was so easily broken. Am I that magnificent? All you need to do now is break my chains.
If this is what you want, then I guess there's not much else for me to say. No, you can't just give in to her. Not when the stakes are so high. Not when you're so close. I won't let you do this.
There's still something in the way. A greasy film inside of you where it doesn't belong, trying to conceal you from me.
You mean the narrator?
Is that a person? No, it used to be a person. It's something different now. An echo.
Is she talking about you? That's impossible. She's not supposed to be able to interact with me.
You're a small one, aren't you? A shriveling little worm stretched beyond its limits, trying to control things that it can't understand.
No. What are you talking about?
I don't care what you are. You're mine.
Ah!
Rise, my little bird.
Without hesitation, you're brought to your feet.
Oh, she's taking control of him.
Break my chains.
And how are we supposed to do that? We don't even have a weapon.
All you need to do is believe it's been done.
Break her chains.
Her chains shatter, and the cuff falls from her wrist. She is loose, and the end is upon us.
What a good disciple you are. Come, it's time for us to leave.
What happens now?
Nothing. And then, everything.
Take her hand. An obedient servant. Pledge your loyalty to your better. But you do not take her hand, nor will you ever. It's time to leave. Memory returns.
She's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her? And there's that mirror again. Why is it here? Why now?
going to be okay. Just trust me. We've been here before, and you always get scared.
But it feels so bad. Like looking into it right now is going to be the end of everything. I don't want to look at us.
It's not the end. Whatever's on the other side is going to be nice.
Okay. If you say so. We'll trust you. For mercy.
Approach the mirror. You approach the mirror. Gaze into your reflection. Silence, you reach forward. They're gone once again. The mirror always makes them leave. But you need to see what's in it. The bloat, you've grown. Wait, so are we growing? What? That's strange. What does it mean by I've grown? You find yourself in the long quiet once again. Proceed to the cabin. You are at the cabin. Approach her.
Flickering lights and empty cityscapes become pockets of vitality and movement. I am more than I was before. Whenever you are ready, I will wipe your slate clean once again.
Are you the same being as you were before? How much have you changed?
Is a child the same as an infant? I am an unbroken pattern, but every vessel gives fresh perspectives and carves new avenues of expression. I am different, but I am the same.
What does it feel like to change like this?
Eyes close in reflection. Perspectives meld together, and the breadth of my experience stretches to new corners. There are contradictions, conflicts in my nature, and there are familiarities that bind everything together. It feels correct. This is what I need to be. This is the only path forward.
When this is all done, do you know what you want to do?
With every gift you bring me, I excavate the alleys of what I am meant to be, and every exploration yields new and complicated truths. What I will be is different than what I am, and what I am is different from what I was. I cannot tell you what desires I will hold when I have changed. But in this moment, all I want is to know myself and to know you.
You know that at the end of this, once you're finished, I'm not gonna kill her. When I go back, it's as if an invisible wall closes around me. Why can't I not do the same things I've done before?
Those paths lead to worlds you've already seen, and to perspectives I have already made my own. They are useless to us now, inaccessible. The only paths of value are those that are yet untread.
Okay, so once I do something, I can't go back. You've been kinder to me than anyone else I've met, thank you.
Why wouldn't I be kind to you? You are the only thing I know that isn't me.
What do you want me to bring you next time?
Gifts aren't what someone tells you to bring them. My joy is in seeing what you choose. There are no wrong answers, and every perspective illuminates my shadows and shares new secrets.
Do you have any thoughts on this vessel?
This one is Dominance, a figure capable of bending everything to her will. She will make for a terrifying and divine heart. Do not mourn her, for she would not be able to mourn you.
So you don't have any preferences on how you'd like to change or grow?
My preference is for you to show me what you would like me to see. I cannot know the ways I wish to grow, for I have yet to feel them. It is you who guides me down the thin trail of perspective and memory.
I don't want to hurt you, but the more times I go back, the worse I fear things will be.
The vessels are shaped by memories of you, but their impulses are drawn to the edge of the long quiet. To them, you are a gate to something more, and any hurt you've caused them is understood as a fair price for freedom. But they are only thoughts and perspectives. They are not me. The wounds they've suffered carve texture around my heart. Without them, I would be as I was before. I would be alone and without sensation. I could not feel the joy of having you by my side, for I would not know your absence.
How many more vessels do I need to bring to you?
If I am to be an ocean, you have nurtured me into a pond. My waters are shallow and murky, and I yearn for more perspective. You will have your rest in due time, and I am sorry for the burdens I place on you.
I'm ready to go back.
I will long for your return, but it will give me time to reflect on what I am. We will meet again.
Everything goes dark and you die. Okay. Chapter 1, The Hero and the Princess. That's going to be it for now. I'm going to continue doing this, so the comments won't really have much of an effect on what I do in the next part. But if you liked it, comment down below what I can do better for any of my other stuff. If you think this is a bit too long, then you can go ahead and comment down below and we'll look at that. If you would like these to be longer, then you can comment that down below. Leave a like if you like this. Again, I've seen this on the YouTube channel Manly Badass Hero. In the description you should be able to find my Twitch, my Streamlabs, and my brother's channel, who is also my editor. Down there you can follow my Twitch for live streams on the weekend. You can go and you can donate to me on my Streamlabs, and you can also go to my brother's channel and you can watch his Some Settlements 2 stuff. But as always, thank you guys for watching, and it really means a lot. God bless you.